At any rate, what Uncle Larry is trying to say is, religion is based on faith. That means you can accept things which you know to be untrue merely because God told you to. And you know, we do need a certain amount of faith in this life. If you really think about it, life is pretty fucked, boys and girls. There's really no point in going on. We ought to just murder and grab everything we can get and screw everybody else, and the hell with it, because we're all doomed anyways. So you need faith. You need hope. And if, you know, believing in Christ or believing in Buddha or Mohammed or whoever gets you through the night, that's fine with Uncle Larry. He doesn't have a problem with that. Uncle Larry just has a problem with hypocrisy. You know, what's interesting is Uncle Larry sort of thinks of himself as a scientific mystic or a mystical scientist. But you know, just recently they discovered through the study of our DNA that all human beings descended from a common ancestor. As well as we understand the science of genetics, they now believe, you know, as far as you can believe anything, they think that they've proven that we all come from a single female ancestor. We all go back to one genetic ancestor. And you know, boys and girls, that's Eve. That's Eve. The Bible was right. There was someone who was a mother to us all. And you know, all men really are brothers. And all women really are sisters. We really are one big family. We've proven it scientifically. But what amazes Uncle Larry is that no religious personality on television or even in his personal life has picked up on this. Nobody wants to say, you know, science proves that Genesis was correct because science is the bad guys. Science believes that you should think for yourself, come to your own conclusions. You know, they don't believe that you should give responsibility to your life totally over to some, you know, godly higher authority. I mean, if you asked Uncle Larry if he believed in God, Uncle Larry would say yes because somebody's out to get him. But to believe that the being that created the universe, something as vast as the universe, cares about a bunch of petty little insignificant worms like us, Uncle Larry finds that hard to believe. He thinks maybe the Gnostics were right and that our reality is created by a lesser, inferior God, and that one day the true God is going to wake up and go, what is this mess? And just sweep us right off the table and into the shit can. But that's just Uncle Larry's personal views, boys and girls. As he said, faith equals religion, and religion equals faith. And faith can be a powerful tool. Why? Mother Teresa, look at Mother Teresa. She spent her whole life, dedicated her whole life to a very simple existence, helping people who could not help themselves or who nobody else was willing to help. And she did that because she believed that God wanted her to do that. Not because she thought, oh, you know, I have an ethical responsibility to society, but because she believed God told her to. On the other hand, somebody who gets on a bus with, you know, 800 pounds of dynamite on him and blows himself up and all the people on that bus, they're doing it because they believe in God too. They think that by blowing all those people up, they're getting a one-way ticket to heaven. They're a martyr. And, you know, there are financial considerations. Most of those people that blow themselves up, they know that their family is going to be looked after. But really, they're doing it because they think they're buying a ticket to heaven. Why? Because somebody told them so, and they bought it. So what's the point of Uncle Larry's editorial, boys and girls? I guess the point is, most people have a much better image of themselves than is actually the truth, and that we should all just sit down and really, really think about what we believe in and what we're doing. Because remember, if you call yourself a Christian, you have to give away all your possessions, give all your money to the poor, and go out and follow Christ and preach the gospel. Otherwise, you're just a big hypocrite, and we know how Christ felt about hypocrites. Uncle Larry thinks he's going to probably get into a lot of trouble for this, boys and girls. But once again, Uncle Larry wants to reiterate that, hey, he's just an aging, unemployed artist with a show on cable Who the hell cares what Uncle Larry thinks? Thanks for sharing this time with me, boys and girls. Guess it's time to wrap this show up. Yeah, so you see what I mean. Now, I just like to say that Uncle Larry is a whole lot more uncompromising than I am. And he's a little more rigid in his beliefs. Personally, that part in there where he quotes Christ's words, well, if you listen to it, Christ says, if you want to be perfect, give up everything you own and go, preach the gospel, all right? And who among us, really, boys and girls, is perfect? So, I'm a little more lenient in my moral philosophy. Personally, to me, as far as faith goes, whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. Anything that helps you bear the burden of this existence, whatever you believe, that's cool, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. When you use what you believe as an excuse to just beat the crap out of somebody else, I got a problem with that. And, Uncle Larry, like Christ, is really intolerant of hypocrisy. But you got to face it, boys and girls, in the words of the Violent Femmes, America is the home of the hypocrites. There's a little hypocrite in every American just by being an American, let's face it. So, I don't take quite such an unyielding view. Now, in the next couple of parts, though, what we're going to see now, Uncle Larry's socio-political ethical philosophy, I agree with that stuff 100%. Uncle Larry gets into some pretty heavy shit here, and if you're still around, pay attention. You might learn something. I know Uncle Larry's opened my eyes to a lot of grim realities of life, maybe more than I probably would prefer that he has, but you gotta love the guy. Like I said, he's family. So I'm just going to run these next two segments, these next two parts together as one, because they are all part of one great big, larger rant about how to deal with life today. And it really is, Uncle Larry is espousing his philosophy of life here when you